And that's the reason why this Tuskegee experiment of such that's happened to the black community, where they took the fathers out of the home and the leaders out of the community and have torn apart the community. Now they've seen that's worked, and they're doing that to America. They're attempting, they're trying.
I mean, that
It's
interview,
not gonna work on our dime,
the
though,
interview
because
magazine cover you're talking about, I think, is the one where she was basically semi-naked in front of the American flag, and I thought that was pretty distasteful, actually. It was about the American dream, and I thought, well, if that's the American dream, we're all screwed. I mean, in America.
And I agree with that, and I didn't feel the platform to voice my opinion because...
Guys, have you heard that Kanye West allegedly has a strict set of rules for Bianca to follow? So allegedly he has told her that she can't speak in public, which I feel like does check out because I've not seen any clips of her speaking publicly with Kanye West, and that she has to wear what he decides for her to wear.
Y'all are not gonna believe what just happened in the Kanye West drama saga. Like, seriously, grab your popcorn because this tea is piping hot. So remember how we all thought Bianca Censori was just this poor victim in Kanye's crazy world? Well, honey, turns out she might have been playing chess while Kanye was playing checkers this entire time. And let me tell you, she just made a move that has everyone's jaws on the floor. Here's the bombshell. Bianca just filed for divorce from Kanye, and she's not just walking away, she's potentially walking away with a whopping $200 million. Can we just take a moment to process this? Because this might be the most epic checkmate we've seen in celebrity divorce history. And Kanye? Oh, he is absolutely losing it. He's been having the biggest meltdown, crying about how Bianca supposedly played him and tricked him into getting married without a prenup. I mean, can you even? This drama is about to be absolutely insane, so settle in because we're about to spill all the tea. You know what's even more deliciously ironic? Remember how Kanye was constantly throwing shade at Kim Kardashian for being a single mom and getting divorced 3 times? Well, look who's about to be on divorce number 2 in less than 4 years. Talk about karma coming back to bite you. And let me tell you something. This divorce is hitting different than his split from Kim. When Kim filed for divorce, she didn't even go after his money because, hello, she had her own empire. She only asked for child support, which they split 50-50. But this time, oh honey, this time it's a whole different ballgame because word on the street is that Bianca is about to take him to the cleaners. But let's be real for a second. Are we really shocked that this marriage is falling apart? The real surprise is that it lasted as long as it did. From day one, everyone and their mother was side-eyeing this relationship knowing it wouldn't last. And honestly, they weren't wrong because something about this whole situation was giving major red flags from the start. I mean, one minute Kanye was professing his undying love for Kim Kardashian, and the next, bam, he's suddenly married to Bianca with literally zero explanation. At first, everyone thought she was just a rebound or Kanye trying to make Kim jealous, but after more than 2 years, that theory kind of lost its steam. Now it seems Bianca has had enough, and if the whispers are true, she's not just walking away, she's strutting away with a nice fat financial cushion. Now, let's talk about why this whole marriage seems sketchy from the get-go. And trust me, it wasn't just because it was more sudden than a summer thunderstorm. Around that time, Kanye was already in hot water, mainly because of those controversial anti-Semitic comments he made that had everyone's blood boiling. His words caused an absolute storm, resulting in him losing endorsements left and right, breaking business ties, and watching his public image crash and burn faster than a lead balloon.
The thing about it being Adidas is like, I could literally say anti-Semitic and they can't drop me. I could say anti-Semitic things and Adidas can't drop me.
I could say anti-Semitic things and Adidas can't drop me. Right in the middle of all this drama, and I mean drama with a capital D, Kanye throws everyone for a complete loop by suddenly marrying Bianca. Like, talk about making an already messy situation even more confusing. Everyone was raising their eyebrows so high they practically disappeared into their hairlines. We were all wondering, was this a real relationship? Or was it just Kanye's way of distracting everyone from the absolute mess he'd created? Let me tell you, the fallout from his comments hit harder than a wrecking ball. Hollywood didn't just walk away from him, they ran. His billionaire status, poof, gone faster than a Snapchat message. All those big brands that used to worship the ground he walked on, they couldn't distance themselves fast enough. His endorsement deals collapsed like a house of cards, and public support, well, that took a nosedive straight into the ground. With his empire crumbling faster than a stale cookie, Kanye completely vanished from the public eye. No appearances, no social media meltdowns, nothing. Just complete radio silence. Some people thought he was taking time to reflect reflect on his actions as if, while others figured he was plotting his next move. But just when everyone thought he'd actually disappeared for good, bam! He pops back up with the most shocking news. He had secretly married Bianca Censori. Now, this wasn't just your regular celebrity surprise wedding. This was next-level shocking. Even Kanye and Bianca's closest friends and family were completely blindsided. And I'm not just talking about keeping the wedding private. Nobody even knew they were dating in the first place. There were no hints, no rumors, not even a single paparazzi photo suggesting they were more than just acquaintances. Can you believe their families found out about the marriage the same way we did, through photos circulating online? Like, how does that even happen? This is Kanye West we're talking about, the man who's never met a publicity stunt he didn't like, the same guy who spent years putting every tiny detail of his personal life on blast. So for him to suddenly go all secretive, especially about something as major as getting married, it made absolutely zero sense. The people closest to him weren't just surprised, they were completely shell-shocked. Those who'd known Kanye for years were struggling to make sense of this new chapter, while Bianca's inner circle was equally in the dark. It raised so many questions. How long had they been seeing each other? Why rush into marriage? And most importantly, why all the secrecy? Get this, a source revealed that the Kardashians had no idea Kanye was even dating someone new. They were so confused they didn't even know if they should take the marriage seriously. They were worried it might be some bizarre PR stunt, and they were waiting to see if he'd actually file the legal papers. But their biggest concern? If this was real, this woman would be in their children's lives. But hold on to your hats, because this next part is even more shocking. Not even Bianca's own parents knew she was getting married. I mean, can we just pause for a moment and let that sink in? This wasn't just odd anymore. This was straight up bizarre. It's one thing for Kanye to keep his ex-wife's family in the dark, but Bianca not telling her own parents? That raised some serious red flags about what was really going on behind closed doors. The level of secrecy went way beyond just being private. It felt calculated and honestly kind of creepy. Sure, plenty of people like to keep their relationships on the down low, but completely cutting out both families? That's not just being discreet, that's something else entirely. Different sources tried to defend their secrecy, saying things like, Kanye's been a megastar for decades, and his first marriage was to someone who lives in front of cameras. They claimed Bianca and Kanye had a totally different vibe, all private and devoted to each other. But honey, nobody was buying that excuse. There's a huge difference between maintaining privacy and completely shutting out your own family from your wedding, especially when you're parading around practically naked in public. Like, what kind of privacy is that? Around this time, these super positive reports started surfacing, painting Kanye and Bianca's relationship as this perfect fairy tale. Sources were saying things like Bianca runs the show and handles all his business affairs. They were claiming the couple was doing amazing and that Kanye had finally met someone who truly gets him. But based on what we know now, it seems like Bianca was quietly dealing with a whole lot of drama behind those designer doors. While it looked like she was living this glamorous life, albeit a very naked one, insiders suggest that Kanye put her through absolute hell in their short marriage. One of the most obvious red flags, the way he completely erased her identity and turned her into this bizarre Kim Kardashian 2.0. From day one, people couldn't help but notice how much Bianca resembled Kim, sparking rumors that Kanye was using her as some kind of Kim stand-in. But it wasn't just their similar features, something way more disturbing was going on. Before marriage, Bianca had her own unique style, but once Kanye got his hands on her, it was clear he was calling all the shots about what she wore. And let's be honest, those outfits have only gotten more bizarre as time went on, but apparently things were even worse than they seemed. Bianca's friends claim that Kanye basically cut her off from everyone she used to be close to. One friend even spilled the tea to the Daily Mail, and what they revealed was absolutely chilling. They said Bianca was stuck, and her friends were desperately trying to save her, but Kanye had put up these impossible barriers around her. Everyone was incredibly worried because this wasn't the Bianca they knew. She used to be this incredibly outspoken, lively person who never kept quiet.
Here's the sale. I suppose just a pair of shorts I want to see.
Yeah, can I get your number? Sure? Oh, damn.
Bianca seems like such a genuinely sweet person, which makes this whole situation even more heartbreaking. And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, more disturbing details have come to light. Multiple sources have come forward with absolutely shocking claims about how Kanye treats her. And let me tell you, it's not pretty. Apparently, Kanye's control over Bianca goes way beyond just picking out her clothes. He's completely reshaped her entire identity. According to insiders, he's basically conditioned her into becoming his ideal version of a woman rather than letting her be herself. From what they describe, she's not even her own person anymore. She's just this living doll that Kanye has molded to fit his fantasies. And honestly, that's absolutely terrifying. A source revealed that Kanye has this whole set of rules for Bianca. She's not allowed to speak, she has to wear what he wants, eat specific foods, and work out, even though Kanye doesn't work out himself. Apparently, he's managed to control her so completely because he convinced her there's some kind of royalty. The source claims she has no mind of her own anymore. Those closest to Bianca have become increasingly alarmed and have been actively trying to help her break free. They've watched her relationship with Kanye turn into something incredibly toxic, and they're genuinely worried about her well-being. At first, Bianca wasn't receptive to their help, not because she didn't care, but because Kanye's influence over her had become so overwhelming. The source claims she'd been manipulated to such an extreme degree that she couldn't even see how unhealthy the situation was. Her friends could tell she wasn't the same confident, independent person anymore, which is why they felt they had to step in. They weren't just worried about her happiness, they were genuinely afraid she might completely lose herself if she stayed in this situation. But everything changed after the chaos at this year's Grammys. That was the final straw for Bianca. Kanye forced her to walk the red carpet practically naked and then wouldn't even let her stay for the event. It became crystal clear that he only brought her there to parade her around like some kind of trophy. What made it even more disgusting was that Kanye himself was, as always, fully dressed and completely covered. And if that wasn't bad enough, he later went on this absolutely vile Twitter rant, bragging about having full control over Bianca. He claimed he owned her and could do whatever he wanted without anyone being able to stop him. The way he worded it made everything even more disturbing. Fans were absolutely horrified. His exact words, "I have dominion over my wife, and that ain't no woke feminist crap." He went on this whole rant about how she's with a billionaire and wouldn't dare listen to anyone else. When people called out the red carpet look, he had the audacity to say, "Yes, I don't make her do anything she doesn't want to, but she definitely wouldn't have been able to do it without my approval." The arrogance is just astounding. Things got so bad that Bianca's father felt he had to step in and confront Kanye about treating his daughter like an object instead of a person. And honestly, can you blame him? What father wouldn't be horrified seeing their daughter being controlled and humiliated like that on a public stage? According to an insider, Bianca's father, Leo, wants to have a serious sit-down with Kanye and ask him what the hell he's thinking, parading Bianca around like some trashy naked trophy pony. He wants to ask Kanye how he'd feel if his own daughters, North or Chicago, were seen in public half-naked in outfits encouraged by their husbands. The source says there's no way Kanye would allow this for his daughters, so why is it okay for his wife? But here's where it gets really interesting. If Bianca was playing the long game, waiting for the perfect moment to make her move, she might have just played this absolutely perfectly. Turns out she and Kanye never signed a prenup when they got married, and honey, that changes everything. Under California law, when a couple divorces without a prenup, their assets are typically split right down the middle. With Kanye's fortune on the line, that means Bianca could walk away with half of everything he owns. If she really decides to pull the plug on this marriage, he might be in for one of the most expensive lessons of his life. And get this, turns out those early reports about Bianca running the show were right after all. Just not in the way anyone expected. She was playing the media like a fiddle, making Kanye look like the bad guy, while she was actually the one pulling all the strings. Plot twist of the century, it was Bianca all along. But I've got to know what you all think about this absolutely wild situation. Drop your thoughts in the comments below and then check out this next video. Check out this next video. Check...